Welcome to the 5th episode of the BestYou channel. My name is Mimi Pegaso. I'm an engineer in computer science, a designer, an entrepreneur, and among other things, I love biotech, biomedicine, and all those hacks that make us have a greater, safer, and longer life. And starting today, I want to say that this episode I will dedicate it to something that it's in everybody, it's everywhere. We don't know what it is, we don't know what's the extent, but we have it. All of us have it, and it's one of the number one causes of sicknesses and diseases and recurring states of not being healthy. And yes, in this case, I'm not gonna talk about epigenetics, but it's another other of the number one, let's say the number one causes of diseases. You know what it is? You have it, and I have it. Everybody has it. Guess. Yes, maybe. I'll give you a clue, just one clue. Let's say that today you did all the good things you try to do to have a healthy life, right? You took your supplementation in the morning, your vitamins, your electrolytes, you went jogging, you did exercise, you did something great, you did your workout or yoga or meditation, but then you went to the office and you start doing your regular job. You did some calls, some phones, laptop, talking to people inside the office. Then you go and grab something to eat, right? What's the first thing you grab? I hope you said salad. But I hope you said a salad with olive oil and not with soy or corn or any other sunflower oil whatsoever. Maybe you grab a burger around the corner, hot dog, whatever you grab. But then you keep doing your routine and it's just fine and everything's great and you feel fantastic. Do you? Not so, right? And that's what happens to everybody. We're trying to do all the routines and all the things for living a healthy life, but then you have real life and you have the real things around us, and that little Snickers and that little burger and the little something, the soda, blah 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 blah. What's all of that giving us? Yes, that's giving us inflammation. Let me repeat it, inflammation. That's one of the number one causes of diseases, of recurring diseases in our body. And it has nothing to do sometimes with epigenetics or the genetics per se. It has to do with our habits. Number one episode we did, right? About habits. Yes, inflammation. It's something really difficult to get rid of. We all have some type of inflammation until a certain extent, and it's something that really aggravates every part of our body. So let's say you have ear inflammation. It's not only the ear, right? It's buzzing your ear, and then you feel something here, your glands, and then maybe you feel dizzy and whatsoever. What causes it? Inflammation. Okay, sometimes inflammation is caused by bacteria, by some viruses, because you develop some other kind of sickness, but severely and consistently, most of the time, we build up inflammation ourselves. Yes, we do. And how? Food, bad habits, not exercising, lack of sleep. Yes, stress and lack of sleep can also give us inflammation. So let's just think it's the food and you are having the perfect diet, but if you are overstressed, you are having inflammation, my friend, somewhere in your body, and sometimes you cannot even tell where. There are so many itis, all these diseases or sickness ends in itis. That means inflammation, that you don't even see them. They have to scan you to tell you have inflammation here. And we don't feel it in the way of inflammation as, oh, this is inflamed. It's not like it's just to put your belly inflamed or something. Sometimes we see it when we have fissures or we have problems externally, we could tell. But there are so many types of inflammation that are in our organs, surrounding all of our systems inside, that we don't see and we cannot tell by just looking, by just seeing us externally. But we might feel it, and I'll tell you how we feel it. Yes, when you went to eat that burger around your office and you enjoy it, right? And you enjoy the fries and you enjoy the soda and whatever it came with. Then just all of a sudden you come back, and what you feel? Feel a little bit tired, right? Yeah, okay. You ingest, so you have to digest, and that's why. No. Tiredness comes from, I said it since episode 1. What gives us energy also make us tired. So many of the foods that we are ingesting and that are not as healthy as we think, or as they might be delicious, but they are not consistently good for our body and are causing us inflammation. And these are all these foods made with, okay, let's advance so many episodes and let's go to one of the first causes of inflammation, and those are oils, my friends. Oils. It's a terrible, terrible product we are using in every of our processed foods, restaurant foods. Go ask your favorite restaurant what kind of oil they're using in mainly all of their foods. They're not gonna tell you olive oil. They're gonna put your olive oil on the table, yes, so you can wrap your salad with it. But most of the foods cooked in restaurants are made with vegetable oil, and that's the #1 cause of inflammation in our bodies. So anything that contains vegetable oils, and let's give a list: corn oil, soy oil, sunflower oil. Sunflower seeds per se are very good, but the oil and any oil brought from vegetables, let's say how they name them, how they paraphrase it, they are not good for our bodies. They are chemically harmful because they are being heat, they are being overheat. And when they do that, the molecules inside, they don't retain their aspect, they change. And every time we warm that oil, we keep changing that chemical and we bring that to our body, causing sometimes cancer. And you're gonna see so many new research about that telling us it's true. But not only cancer, cancer is the last aspect of it. It's inflammation, consistent inflammation in our body. So there are so many foods that are giving us inflammation, and we don't know. We don't know we have it, but we feel it. So when you are doing something and you feel lazy, you feel tired, you feel weak, or you feel, yes, that sensation of like, but I ate, but I did my routine, but I did this, but I woke up at the time, I slept my hours. It's not only that, it's the whole thing. So it's not the food that's giving you inflammation, it's your stress. Cortisol problems give us stress and give us inflammation problems. So let's relate everything together. It's not just one thing. You do one good thing, but then another one, you are not paying attention to what you're doing, and yes, you're causing yourself inflammation, and that can give you a consistent aspect of our spectrum of diseases that you cannot even tell until the very end, when something is bleeding or something is hurting or there is a consistent pain somewhere or just your metabolism is changing. And wrapping this first episode on inflammation, there are going to be others, but not as long as epigenetics, but we're going to be recurringly talking about this because major causes of inflammation not only caused by food, but as I told you, the way our habits are. So, but also our regimens, our routines. So exercising, it's very good, and we know it. We need to exercise daily, at least walk around and have your little 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk somewhere, especially outdoors. I recommend. That will not only give you a good sensation, a good feeling, will help your breathing. Breathing is also very important to keep our body regulated and balanced, but also will give you the necessary energy when you do exercise that are, let's say, prone to give you certain types of energy. It balances your body. Although when we over-exercise ourselves, and I'm talking to those gentlemen and ladies that are going to the gym every day just to have the perfect body, but are extenuating themselves with the routines, with weights, and with many different types of routine, and we're going to talk about those in the future. But if you overexpose yourselves to exercise and you are not letting your body breathe, relax, and recover, then you are extenuating your flame and you are inflaming your face. You're inflamming yourself farther more than we should. So when we exercise, when we lift weights, and you lift them, and there is a certain point where you need to stop, because we will generate inflammation, and that inflammation is necessary for our body, for our muscles to build mass, to build more muscle. But if we overextenuate, we overdo, those muscles, apart that breaking, they will get inflamed, and all the surrounding areas will get inflamed, and sometimes that inflammation runs through the body. So maybe not that exactly part you developed to build muscle and to be strong and to be beautiful, but that generates inflammation somewhere else. That's why so many people suffer with back pain and so many pains surrounding the sciatica, because some inflammation have started somewhere that ended there, because nerves, they surround our body. They're all inside of everywhere. So nerves carry this damage, and they can damage themselves when we are inflamed. In fact, one of the main pain problems in our era reflected in nerves is because of inflammation. So we're giving our nerve problems, we're damaging, we're pressing our nerves and generating all this pain, and then taking a bunch of painkillers that they don't really help, because they are alleviating the moment, but they are not helping the damaging nerve that we have, and then are not generating that anti-inflammatory effects that we need. And we do have some anti-inflammatories that are good topically or good at the moment, but if we have chronic inflammation because we keep doing the same routines exercise-wise, or we eating the same vegetable oils or certain kind of foods that are gluten, guys, also gives inflammation. So people are allergic to gluten, and there are aspects of allergy that differ of inflammation, but overall, gluten to everybody give us inflammation. So many grains give us inflammation. So many things give us inflammation. So there is a whole list that I will tell you in the next episode of foods that we should avoid, and foods that give us anti-inflammatory effects, and they are great, and I use them consistently every day, morning, afternoon, whenever I have to eat. I put them, I try it. So I'll show you those in another episode, but by now let's start with what is causing us inflammation. So we said first, number one, foods, certain foods. Forget about all those refined processed foods that you love, because all of them are causing us inflammation. And why? It's not only the vegetable oils, it's the number one killer I said before, sugar. Yes, we go back to sugar. anything that becomes sugar give us inflammation. So for more that we love our breads, and for more that you love rice, and for more that you love anything, potatoes, French fries, who doesn't love a really greasy, warm pack of French fries, right? I do, I love them. Whenever I decide, I do eat them, but that's once a blue moon. So I try to be very disciplined with my health, because I know I will enjoy and entertain myself in eating them. But the problem is that causes inflammation. And if you already know that you are prone, and I use repeatedly this word prone, because we know ourselves what we are prone to, right? Some people are prone to sinuses, other people are prone to allergies, other people are prone to stomach aches. So we know already what our body is telling us. And if we are prone to certain types of inflammation, topically or in the gut area or intestinal area or brain, whenever you get those headaches, guess what? There's also inflammation on your brain somewhere. So let's say that most of diseases have a relative aspect, a parallelism, a cause effect with inflammation. Sometimes the effect is inflammation, sometimes it's the cause. And another downer of inflammation, and this is bad to tell, but I have to, because information is key for everybody to get healthy, and that's what I want you to do, be the best you. And that's why I try to give you all this data that is not really nice to listen, but we have to clear our brains of what we know, and let's start knowing what is being researched. And sometimes, and subsequently a lot of times, inflammations that we carry in our bodies, and I think I said it in number 2 in our second episode, inflammations that we carry ourselves in a consistent way, in a prolonged time, can then become cancers. So many cancers start in areas or zones that have been inflamed previously. So let's say you had a car accident and you had a hip problem or a knee problem, and it got inflamed, and you had the whole process 8 months with your cast and whatsoever. But then you thought, everything is fine, I can walk, I can go on with my life. But sometimes those severe inflammations and so long lasting inflammations can develop in cancer in the future. Not per se at the moment, but in 20 years, you start having some tumor or some growth there. And it so many times has been related with problems in the very early of our lives. Sometimes when kids fall, right, and they jump and they play and they are great, but sometimes falling when you're a kid, and I'm not saying this to have your kids just sitting there like good boys and girls, but they have to play, they have to surround themselves with everything, they have to know pain, but we need to really know that falling since a very young age, sometimes these fractures and these problems that we have can cause later cancers in the future. So anytime your kid falls, or you fall, or you hit yourself with something in the gyms whatsoever, your head with the fridge, we haven't done that sometimes, right? Let's do something at the moment to keep our bodies less inflamed. So we're gonna talk about our foods, our routines, how our breathing, how certain therapies, cold therapy, and many others can help us bring the levels of inflammation down. Also, so many supplements that are on the market that we can use on a daily basis, and they not gonna give us any liver or kidney problems in the future, that can also leverage the level of inflammations that we have. Lastly, I want to say that not only exercising, because for everybody that exercises, I love it, and thank you for trying to keep yourself beautiful and healthy, but remember, every time we exercise, we need to recover, and sometimes recovery time is longer than exercising time, so we need to have a real good recovery time for every part of our body. So if one day you're doing push-ups and the other day you're doing legs, you recover one back and forth. Don't do everything at the same time. We're gonna talk about exercising routines that are good for not giving us inflammation per se, to be chronic, because that's what we need to avoid. It's good sometimes when we are sick, we get this inflammation to develop our immune system and attack the inflammation. But when we have that consistent inflammation that doesn't go away, that's a very bad sign for all our body, and is giving us diseases of so many aspects. So we need to clear first our exercise routines, know when to stop, please. It's not because you do it faster or you do it longer that you're gonna achieve beautiful results. It's not only the fact that you need to look beautiful outside, you have also the mandatory aspect of having a healthy body inside. So try to look beautiful inside, and not I'm not talking at this moment about yourself and your spirituality and your way-being. I'm talking about your inner organs. They need to look nice inside. They need to look healthy. Their skin needs to look fresh, and we don't need them to look beat up inside when you are looking good outside. On the contrary, the better that you look inside, the less inflamed you are inside, the better that you're gonna look outside. And that's for all of us. And also our food routines, we're gonna talk about little how to change our routines, and if we are consuming something that is giving an inflammation at the moment, how to reverse it immediately. And also we're gonna talk about so many supplements that I use, you can use, and you probably are using too, but don't know that give us good anti-inflammatory effects. And there are so many other ways. As I told you, breathing, walking also can give you good levels of anti-inflammation if it's done at a certain time, after or before your food intake. So we're gonna talk about that in the next episode. But for now, let's try to not, the simplest part of all of it is, don't stress yourself. Don't overstress yourself, because that stress is also giving you inflammation. So if you try today to relax and to just take it easy, one day at a time, and think of all the good things you have achieved, and forget at the moment that all the rest that you need to do right now, and just relax and be happy and cheerful with yourself, you will give your body a time to relax, to feel free, to leverage that inflammation that you have inside, and to be better inside you, and to become the best you. That's what you want, and that is what I want for you. I see you next time. Bye bye.